Welcome back to the deep dive. Genuinely excited to dig into today's material with you. We're taking a close look back at the past week in professional golf. That's July 7th through to July 13th, 2025. And look, if you want to be properly informed about what's happening, on the greens and fairways, get the key insights without sort of drowning in details, you've definitely come to the right place. Right, so we're working off this weekly golf report, pretty comprehensive stuff, distilling insights from multiple tours, and our mission, really, is to uncover the most important nuggets, maybe some surprising facts, from a week that was, well, remarkably quiet off the course, but delivered some pretty significant drama on it. We're going to connect some dots you might not have seen.
Yeah, exactly. And to build on that, what's really striking about this past week is how it reminded us, didn't it?
Yeah.
Sometimes the biggest stories, the really compelling stuff in golf, it just happens purely between the ropes. There wasn't, a lot of that external noise, which let the pure sport shine through. So this deep dive will explore how and why that happened and maybe what it signals for the game.
Okay, let's unpack that then. So the report, it highlighted this overarching observation right away. Despite, like you said, a noticeable lack of major off-course news, controversies, whatever. The competitive action was intense, really intense. We saw big performances, breakthrough wins, and this real sense of growing parity across the tours. New talent really stepping up. But this growing parity, what does that actually mean for the sport? Beyond just, more exciting finishes.
That's a great question. Because growing parity is actually, well, it's a huge deal for the sport's health, I think. If you think about the implications, it means the playing field is leveling out.
Yeah.
Sort of. You're seeing more players across all tours who are capable of winning. It's not just the same handful of names. And that translates directly to more unpredictable outcomes, right? More thrilling finishes. And, crucially, a more engaging product for you, the fan. Keeps everyone on the edge of their seat because, well, anyone could step up.
Right, it's not preordained. And speaking of new names stepping up, let's dive straight into the PGA Tour, the Genesis Scottish Open. Chris Gotterup really seized the moment there. Biggest title of his career up at the Renaissance Club in North Berwick. He finished at an incredible minus 15, 265 total. The report mentioned his consistent ball striking, but what makes this win such a big breakthrough?
Well, a key takeaway is the immediate impact, not just the money, which was, $1.575 million.
Nice payday.
Definitely. But also those 500 FedEx Cup points, those are absolutely crucial for the end-of-season playoffs.
Yeah.
So this isn't just a win. It really signaled his arrival, as a serious contender in these really elite fields. And worth remembering, this event was co-sanctioned with the DP World Tour.
Right, the collaboration aspect.
Yeah, it just continues to highlight that increasing international link-up in pro golf. And think about who he beat. He edged out Rory, McIlroy, Marco Penge, both at minus 13. That's a massive statement.
Absolutely is. Okay, so from Scotland, let's shift over to the Amundi Evian Championship in France, the LPGA Tour. Talk about high-octane drama. Grace Kim securing her first major victory. And it was a proper nail-biter. Finished tied with Bino Thitikul, minus 14, then the sudden death playoff. But the real clutch moment, maybe even before the playoff, was that eagle on the final regulation hole just to get into it. Incredible.
Just amazing pressure play.
So beyond the prize money, the $1.2 million, what's the real career impact of a major win like that for someone like him? Is it immediate stardom? Or does it take time?
Oh, it's absolutely career-defining, no question. A major win for a rising star like Grace Kim, it immediately elevates her status, cements her place among the tour's elite. The prize money is obviously significant, but the prestige, the recognition that comes with a major title, that's invaluable. Yeah. Think sponsorships, media attention, and just sheer confidence. It tells her and everyone else, I belong right here at the top.
Yeah, huge confidence boost.
Right.
And we can't forget, Minjee Lee and, notably, the amateur Lottie Wood, they both finished just one shot back at 13 under. Seeing an amateur perform that well in a major, that always generates buzz, doesn't it?
It really does, yeah.
Yeah.
When you see amateur talent like Lottie Wood making such a splash in these big pro events, it creates a real excitement, gives you a glimpse into the future of the women's game. It's proof the talent pipeline is strong, New stars are always coming through, ready to challenge the established names.
Always exciting to see. Okay, let's switch over to the LIV Golf circuit, the Andalucia Invitational, Real Club Valderrama in Spain. Saw a familiar face continuing his winning ways. Taylor Booch, he grabbed another victory, finishing at minus 8. Held off some serious competition, too. John Rahm was right there at minus 7. Abraham Answer at minus 5. Gooch just seems to have this consistent edge in these LIV events. Does the report give any clues as to why he's been so dominant?
Well, the report really emphasizes his consistency across the 3 rounds, especially in tricky conditions like Valderrama can be. That course demands precision.
It's notoriously tough.
Exactly. So it highlights maybe his maturity, his competitive edge, definitely, particularly holding off Rahm on Spanish soil. It speaks to a disciplined approach, minimizing mistakes under pressure. And, well, you can't ignore the financial side, can you?
Hardly.
An estimated winner's share of $4 million from a, $25 million total purse? This win just reaffirms LIV's whole model, their commitment to these huge prize structures, which, keeps attracting top players.
Keeps the conversations going, for sure. Now, a quick check-in with the PGA Tour champions. They were playing the DI6 Open, Endicott, New York. Enjoy golf course.
Right. So at the time our report came out, July 13th, that tournament was actually still going on. Results were pending. Decent purse, $2.2 million. And the defending champ, Padre Harrington, was definitely one of the guys to watch there. So yeah, that one was wrapping up over the weekend.
Got it. Okay, so we've covered a lot of what did happen on the course. Great action. But let's pivot now to the the unspoken story of the week. What didn't happen off course. Our report really highlighted this, called it a mid-season pause in business and regulatory updates. Now, the report frames this as significant quiet period, but couldn't you argue that not having major news is maybe significant in itself? Tells its own story about where golf is right now.
That's a really perceptive way to put it. And yeah, I'd agree. This quiet spell is notable precisely because we saw a lack of movement in areas that have been, well, pretty dynamic recently. For instance, no big sponsor announcements, not like that 3M Open extension back in March, remember? Also, no player transfers between tours, no big retirements announced, no major injury returns hitting the headlines, and maybe most importantly for the ongoing debates, no structural updates to the official World Golf Ranking, the OWGR.
Which is always bubbling away.
Always, especially concerning LIV Golf's integration points, all that stuff. So yeah, it was a period of maybe surprising stability, almost like a holding pattern.
And it wasn't just business, right? The report also pointed out a lack of community controversies, debates online, rule disputes. Even social media seemed focused purely on celebrating the performances, not stirring the pot.
Exactly. And what this quiet period off the course ultimately did was allow the on-course action to be the absolute singular focus. It's a powerful reminder, really, that sometimes golf's most compelling stories, its best narratives, are still written purely between those ropes. The drama, the excitement, it came from the skill, the pressure, the competition itself, not from, external factors or headlines. The game itself was the story.
So wrapping up this fascinating week then, Chris Gotterup's huge breakthrough at the Scottish Open, Grace Kim's historic first major clinched in that thrilling playoff, and Taylor Gooch just continuing his dominant run on the LIV circuit. These were powerful stories, weren't they? All crafted purely by player skill, determination, incredible performances under pressure.
That's the real takeaway, I think. This week served as such a potent reminder. Even in this world saturated with information, often dominated by off-course drama, the actual heart of golf, its most compelling narratives, they remain firmly rooted in the pure competition itself, on the course.
So here's something to chew on until next time. Given this period of, let's call it, commercial and regulatory stability, which allowed that pure on-course performance to really shine through, what does that actually mean for the future path of pro golf and for the continued rise of these new stars we're seeing? And maybe think about this too. What else might you discover by looking deeper into the quiet moments of any field when all the external noise just dies down and the essence of the thing comes through?